Hi, this is Rich Scierka, and this is my executive summary for the client presentation phase of our class project. The client that I chose is the YWCA of New Britain, part of a national organization, but they're a community organization focusing on um, empowering women and eliminating racism. I came across them through work. I live and work in New Britain and was able to interact with them on a few occasions and really thought that this would be a good organization to learn more about. So I'm glad I got to do that through this process. In their interview, they focused on a lot of their services. Four that jumped out to me was first their child care center. They tailor to over 300 children um, throughout the work week, and they offer scholarships and discounted rates for childcare. And I mean, as a lot of us know, childcare can be very expensive, so this is a great community service that they offer. They also focus on pregnancy prevention for teens, so they send reps throughout central Connecticut to schools, community events, even families that might be considered at risk for having children that would become pregnant at an early age, and really just share any materials or knowledge that they can give to them to help them out. Uh, the third, the sexual assault support services, that's pretty self-explanatory, but what they have is a 24-hour hotline. It's a crisis support hotline that can be called, and they also send representatives to, I mean, hospitals, the police station. They accompany the victims to court dates. So really is a powerful service that they offer, and one that should be talked about more. And then lastly, family literacy. This is a positive service, you know, when you talk about some of the other things we've been looking at. But family literacy focuses on on illiterate parents and their children. So they're actually teaching, maybe there's a young mother that never finished sixth or seventh grade, which is uncommon, and they have very poor reading skills. So they work with them to do that, and then as the parent uh, learns more, they also have opportunities for children to come in and learn with their parents as well. And this just leads to better education, job opportunities, increase in quality of life overall. Now, in our online communication analysis, I was able to identify really every communication tool that we as interactive communication professionals would recommend for this organization. So I thought that was positive. Looking at, I mean, their social media, they have Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter, it's all there. But the biggest issue that they have is that they are very short staffed. They don't have an editorial calendar together, so they still need a lot of help in getting their information organized and then identifying the right times and platforms to get that out. So all the pieces are there. They just need to be brought together a little bit more, which I look at as a positive because they've already put the effort in to train themselves to understand the benefits of online communication. In looking at our needs and how they can be achieved through online communication. The first is being volunteers. YWCA needs more volunteers on a daily basis. They have tons of programs in-house and also out in the community that need to be staffed. So any way to get that message out through online communication would be beneficial. And they're also still getting feedback that not all of their stakeholders are actually being told when their events and new programs are being launched, and that just tells us that we need to do more through online communication as well. Their primary source of funding is through donations, so they want to continue to grow that as well. They also just opened a brand new fitness center where they spent years raising money and getting grants and just launched it in the last 2 months. They have hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment in there. It's a fantastic facility, and they want to continue to promote that and gain more members to come in and take advantage of it. In my peer analysis, I was able to identify 4 other organizations within the surrounding area that have similar services as the YWCA of New Britain, one being the YWCA of Hartford, the YMCA of New Britain, the Prudence Crandall Center in New Britain, which is also the Domestic Violence and Crisis Support Center, and then the Friendship Center, which is a homeless shelter, but also a food pantry and overall community center. Now, looking at these four organizations, every one of them had a website that was fairly new, it was active, and they all utilized social media in some capacity, but not all of them had as many online communication tools as YWCA of New Britain. So I looked at that as a great plus for YWCA of New Britain. What the other organizations did do, though, they were able to include their geographic location in the headlines of their websites, which I thought was something that YWCA New Britain should do as well. They have that in their in the description of who they are, but really, if I go to the YWCA website at first glance, I wouldn't know that it's YWCA of New Britain. So that's definitely something that they should work on. Also, the other organizations were very good at providing hours of operation, immediate contact information for crisis support. You'll see here in Prudence Crandall, I mean, their 800 numbers and their local numbers are front and center. The same thing for YWCA New Britain. You have an immediate click here for crisis support. Or I'm sorry, YWCA of Hartford does that. YWCA of New Britain doesn't offer that. They offer all these services, but you have to go through a couple of clicks to identify them. So I definitely think that's something to look at, and something that we can gain from our peer analysis. In the SWOT study, I thought the immediate strength that jumped out at me was that this is a credible organization. I mean, they have national recognition. They've been around in New Britain for over 100 years, so they already any content that they have is supported on a national level. It's cited. They have solid references. So that's great for them when it comes to the type of information that they're providing. And also, I like their website. It's a clean website. They use a lot of white space. They have stock images. This is definitely something that we can build more out of. I mean, it's a lot easier to work with that type of a website versus one that just has a ton of content splattered all over it. Weaknesses have to do with the way that they prioritize information. They've spoken about how they actually wanted to get more about events and programs and services out to the community. It's not that the website doesn't have that information, it's just that it's not right up at the top of the website. You might have to scroll down a little bit or click through a couple of pages to get that. Opportunities are definitely in their 24-hour support services. They do have that service. A lot of people don't know about it, and it's not highlighted on their website. So I think it's a great opportunity to tie that into their web messaging and really into their online communications. And going to back to prioritizing information, reformatting their website would offer a lot of great opportunities to get that information front and center. Threats, stock images are clean, but they also can be impersonal. When you look at the other organization websites and the peer analysis, they all had images on their homepage of things that they were doing in the community, of staff members, of events that they had, and you don't immediately get that on the YWCA New Britain. So definitely could be considered a threat. So that's a lot to go over in a short amount of time, but I hope I gave you a good summary of what the YWCA New Britain is and what they have to offer, and really what we can do to help them through an online communication analysis and implementation of a new program. So I'm happy to answer any more questions. Definitely check out the website. That's ywcanewbritain.org, and I look forward to hearing from you and seeing all of your other presentations. Thank you.